everybody, Tiny House Dreaming here. It is Sunday, March 11th. I know it's the 11th because tomorrow I take my test for my CDL license. I will be testing out at 9 a.m. here in Utah, so might be a different time where you're at. But that's not too early, it's not too late. I'm glad I have the first test of the day. I'm feeling good. So a couple people have asked me in person. I have a couple people that are here at Prime now going through orientation. Well, actually it's Sunday, so they have already finished their orientation phase that watch me. And then there's a few people that have emailed me, but I've gotten questions like, why haven't you posted a video this week? And it's not because I'm ignoring you, not because I'm tired of doing YouTube or anything like that. Basically, I haven't been posting a video all week because it would have been pretty repetitive of what I've said in my last like 2, maybe 3 videos. That all week it's Sunday, so the week's over at this point. But all week my focus has been on practicing my backing maneuvers and practicing my shifting. Like I knew Friday before last that my test date was March 12th. So like I've been prepared. I've been knowing the days have been counting down. So like literally every day, been getting up, going to the pad, practicing backing. Me and there's one other girl that's a Brad's Angel. We're at the same level of like, you know, where we are as far as shifting and backing and stuff. So like we've kind of teamed up and Brad has been like working with us as a team. So he takes us out usually multiple times a day. Like, you know, we'll be out in the morning, we'll come back for lunch, then we'll go back out in the afternoon. And we've just been practicing shifting. He's been taking us on various streets, you know, small industrial streets, big streets with high traffic. We've been getting on different freeway ramps, like just getting us used to all of the city type driving and making sure that we know how to properly merge on the freeway. We know how to downshift when we come on the freeway. We've been learning how to, you know, stop appropriately behind stop signs when you come to a stop sign, how to downshift to make a turn if you don't have to stop. Just all kind of stuff. Practicing safe driving, making sure that we are ready as far as shifting up and shifting down, getting into the right gear, when you should be in the right gear, kind of learning to listen to the engine. Like I'm not so good at that, but what I am good at, I'll give you guys, I don't know if every place teaches like this or not, or like this might just be a common thing and you're like, okay, you did not have to tell me that. But what we've learned and what works perfectly for me is you look at the speed or the miles per hour, what is it called? Your gauge or whatever, your miles per hour gauge. And how you know if you're in the right gear is like you add the numbers up. So like if you're going 25, 2 plus 5 is 7. You should be in 7th gear. And this, I guess, is for a 10 speed. I don't know. We've only learned 10 speed, so I'm not going to say that this works properly for a 9 speed or like a 13 speed. I think I've heard there is. And I don't know about any of that. I know about 10 speed, so I'm speaking about 10 speed. If you're going 35 miles per hour, 3 plus 5 is 8. 45 miles per hour, 4 plus 5 is 9. 55 and over, I mean, if you're at 10 speed, that's the highest gear you're going to go in. So 5 plus 5 is 10. You should be in 10th gear. 1 plus 5, if you're going 15 miles per hour, is 6th gear. Below that, I mean, you can start in like 3rd or 4th gear, depending on if you're empty or heavy. I mean, if you're really heavy, you might have to start in 2nd gear. It kind of, you find what works for you as far as where you start at. When you're starting at 1st gear, which I don't know that a lot of people start in 1st gear, but if you're starting in 1st gear, you're pretty much gearing up between 1 and 5, like really quickly. It happens really quickly. So there is no like 3 miles per hour, you're going this fast. I mean, mind you, if you're downshifting, it won't drop into the lower gears, but just to kind of anybody that's coming here, if you guys are here and you're watching this, before you start practicing, kind of have that in your head already. I know if you've already been on a simulator, you've kind of been told this already. It does work like that in the real world. If you watch your miles per hour gauge, you should know exactly what gear works for you. Now, if you're going too fast and you try to like downshift, like say you're in 8th, you're trying to downshift to 6 to like make a turn at an intersection that doesn't have a stop sign. There's nobody coming the opposite way, and you don't really have to stop. You can, you know, it's clear both ways, every way. You're looking left, you're looking right, you're looking ahead, nobody's coming, you're good. You need to downshift to 6. It's safe to turn in 6th gear. Keep in mind that if you're like in 8th gear and you've been going down the road and you're going 35, 30 miles per hour, and you try to downshift to 6th gear and it's blocking you, or you're hearing it grind, is because you have to apply your brake and you have to get yourself down to 18, 15 miles per hour. Then it should drop in smoothly. So there you go for your new guys that just want a tip. There's my tip. And I'm not no professional, believe me. So there's a lot of crap that I need to learn still, but I am only sharing with you the things that I know. You know, if I don't know something, or if I'm not going to speak on it, or I'm going to say, I think it's this way, but I'm not positive. I'm definitely not trying to pass on any bad habits or tips or anything, but Brad is awesome. I've talked about, he's the person that's been training me. He's trained me very well. Like, he's given me all my reference points on my back end. So anybody that's staying behind and getting trained by Brad in the local program here in Utah, definitely listen to him. Like, the simulator is the simulator, and it's great because it does get you prepared. It gets you to have the feel of like double clutching, and it kind of gets you in the habit of looking at the miles per hour to shift up and stuff like that. But if he tells you you need to work on something, listen to him and just go with it. Even if it doesn't feel right, go with it. Because he's not going to steer you wrong. He's a really good guy. He's very genuine. He's very patient. And I love Brad. What can I say? But there was something else people were debating. Oh, one of the girls that is a subscriber, she's here now. So I just was talking to her right before I walked in the room, and I literally just got back. The sun's starting to go down. I don't even know what time it is. I didn't even look at the time before I started this video, but she said that they were having dinner together, and her and some of the new people were debating, if you fail a part of the test, do you have to retake the full test? So just to clarify that, and if you're coming here, you feel free to clarify it like with your recruiter or something, but this is something that I kind of know, so I'm going to speak on it, is like, you do not have to retake any sections of the test you pass. Now, they always do it in a certain order. Pre-trip comes first, backing maneuvers come second, and your road test is third. There's 3 parts to every driving test that anybody is going to take. And they go in that order every time. If you pass your pre-trip and you pass your backing, but you miss something and you don't pass your road trip, when you go back to retest, you have to wait 48 hours before you can take your next, try again. You don't have to retake the 2 sections that you passed. Now, say if you pass your pre-trip and fail your brake test, you're never going to even move on to your road test. You're going to have to wait 48 hours, retest, and yes, you will have to start back with start back with the backing, then move on. Hopefully you'll pass that the second time and move on to the road trip, but you won't have to do your pre-trip again. The one thing, I think in pre-trip you can miss 12 points, I believe. Now, don't quote me on that, but I think it's 12 points. The only part there, the air brake test is part of the in-cab inspection, which is consistent no matter what test you get. You always have to do the in-cab, and you always have to do the air brakes. If you fail any part of the air brakes, you will fail. Period. It stops right there. You can't go on to backing. You can't go on to city driving. You have to wait 2 days and retest again, and you have to do the full thing again because you have to start over with pre-trip because you didn't pass pre-trip. One suggestion I will give that was passed on to me, and I'm going to pass it on to you, is when you are doing the air brake test, because it's an automatic fail, it's not like you're going to lose points and lose because you lost points. It's automatic fail. Don't forget, when you're transitioning from your in-cab to your air brakes, don't forget to turn your engine off and then turn the auxiliary back on. Don't ever try to take your air brake test with your engine on. Tip number 1. Tip number 2, this might not make sense to you, but once you're actually in the truck, you'll get what I'm talking about. Wait for your gauges to stabilize before you tell the instructor to start timing you for a minute. Like I said, it might not make any sense to you now, but when you get in the truck and are practicing, remember that Tiny House Dreaming, Desiree, whatever you want to call me, said that. Those 2 things I heard is like So many people fail because they forget those two things. So those are my tips for today. I can't think of anything else to ask. And the only reason I thought about those were because I told you I seen one of my subscribers as she was coming back to her room. I was coming to my room. And she just said, like, we were debating at dinner. So she was like, when you make your video, put that in it. So there you go. But yeah, so anyways, I'm ready for my test. I'm not overconfident. Don't get me wrong. But, you know, Brad has been taking me out. And when he comes back, he lets you know. I don't know if I just said this. I just said this to her. Not sure if I just said this to you. If I'm repeating myself, guys, I'm sorry. I'm tired. It's been a long day, but I'm just, hey, I haven't talked all week to you guys. I miss you. Okay, but anyways, when Brad takes you out, he takes you out for like maybe 30 minutes. And I mind you, if there's a couple of you in your little group that are all in the same, you know, you guys are learning at the same pace and nobody's kind of falling behind or nobody's super ahead and you all are going to test around the same time, he'll take you as a little group and, you know, he'll take you on a run. Then the next person gets in the driver's seat, take you on a run. It's about 30 minutes. You know, each person each time gets about 30 minutes of drive time. When you get back to the terminal, because usually he'll bring you back to the terminal and the next person will start and, you know, you guys will keep taking turns. He's pretty good at telling you, like, if this was the real test, you would have passed or you would have failed or you would have passed and probably lost about 15 points. He'll give you pointers to let you know what he, you know, he observed you. Like if you're heavy on the accelerator all the time, which was my problem. So that's why I'm making it a point to say that. I know, Brad, I'm heavy on the accelerator. As soon as I shift into gear, he's like, shift into gear, then push on the accelerator. I had a bad habit of wanting to push on the accelerator. Like I was just accelerator happy. I don't know. I'm like, let's get it going. And he said I drove like a bat out of hell at 2 miles per hour. I love Brad, really I do. But anyways, so he'll make it a point to let you know his observations and what he thinks you need to work on. And like, so next time he takes you out, just kind of be mindful of what he's telling you and try to work on that. He'll let you know that you're doing this really well. This work on a little bit and just don't take, I mean, he's not like a harpy type of person, so it's easy to take his criticism because he delivers it well. But if you're like a super sensitive person, get out of your head and don't be too sensitive because he's not meaning it like that. He wants you to succeed. He takes pride in us succeeding. So know that he's not against you. He's not, you know, he's there for you. And if you feel shaky about any certain part, let him know. Like for me, it was when we turned the corner and there was no stop sign. There was no cars coming in the like scenario I just said where you can go shift down to 6th gear and continue, you know, slow down and go. My thing was, I was like, oh my God, how am I going to get from 9th to 6th? And I'm like overthinking it really quick. And I'm like, oh my God, and I would always mess up. And so that was my thing. And I let him know that's my thing. That's the kind of thing that like every time I have to do that, I get nervous about it. And he was like, no problem. That's what we'll work on next time we go out. You know, so he will probably notice your inconsistencies or things you're bad at before you realize that you're bad at them. So he'll point them out. But if there's something that you feel like just really makes you nervous or something, definitely let him know because he wants you to feel confident. You know, if there's certain things that he can help you work on, he takes the time and works on them. He's super patient. You'll see that. And like Brad is also really good he switches his teaching style up to accommodate you. Like he'll kind of really quickly pick up on how you learn and he'll adjust to that. Like you're not adjusting to his teaching style. He adjusts to your learning style. So that's a good thing to know as well. I mean, I wish I could like clone Brad and take him, like put him on a keychain and just have him everywhere because he's great. And I'm going to really miss him. I mean, I'm happy to not be seeing him anymore. Hopefully after tomorrow, I'll pass my test. And I told him today, I was like, I'm going to miss you, but I really don't want to see you on Wednesday because that means I'm still going to be here and have to retest on Wednesday. Because if I fail tomorrow, I'll have to wait 48 hours and Wednesday will be my next test day. And I really don't want that to happen. But he's made me feel confident. He's like, you know what, Desiree, because I do get in my own head, especially with that downshifting part. And I'm bad with like letting up on the clutch too quick. And like, you know, he's like, be gentle with it. Be gentle with it. So he did assure me like that he has complete confidence in me that I can pass. He's like, I've driven with you. I feel safe with you. I know that you know how to do this. You got this. He's seen me back. He's like, you got this. There's no reason why you're going to fail unless you get in your own head. Because there's been times when I've been out there and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm just in my head. I'm overthinking it. I'm freaking out. Not like freaking out like, oh my God, but like, you know, freaking out like before it even happens or before I even mess up, I'm already freaking out that I'm going to mess up. And so he told me he has confidence in me. He knows that I can do it. So I told him I'm going to steal that confidence and go into tomorrow and just try to do it. You know, I mean, at this point, he's given me everything that he set me up for success. He's given me everything that I need to know to pass this test. So I just have to go in there and make him proud and myself proud as well. So I think I have overtalked already, and I'm not even tired. Can you tell? Like, I'm been up all day, but like, I'm kind of wired. I don't even know off what, because I literally have been drinking hot chocolate all day. But yeah, I'm like up. I need to like kind of wind myself down. Maybe I'll take a bath or something, wind myself down and try to go to sleep early. I'm going to get up early. The one thing I've noticed about myself, and if you notice little things, try to like make arrangements to help yourself. I've noticed that in the first thing in the morning, when I go out to drive, you know, I'm like not really like I'm making mistakes, but in my own head, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm nervous. Like, what if I forgot something from yesterday? And I'm super nervous. Like, my second and third drives are always a little better, except for one day. It was the third last drive. I don't know if I was tired or what happened, but we're not going to talk about that. Brad knows what I'm talking about though, because I stalled the truck and it was just not good. But anyways, I'm telling on myself when I don't have to, but you know, I'm going to share the good and the bad with you. And I am far from perfect when it comes to shifting. Believe me, you, or believe you, me, or whatever that saying is. Believe it. But he said I'm good enough. He was like, you'll pass that test. Just get out here and get her done. Get her done. That's like my new saying. Okay, but anyways. Oh my gosh, I forgot what I was saying. Oh yeah. So set yourself up for success. So like for me, I know that I'm nervous when the first drive of the morning. Even if I do fine, I have like this built up anxiety or whatever. I don't know what it's called, but I know that about myself. I've learned that from all the times that we've gone out driving, that first drive is like jittery because I'm like overthinking it probably. So what I did was I went and found a trainer, Mike. He said that I get up at 5 o'clock, just come knock on my truck door. And because I was looking for somebody who was willing to actually take me out driving before my test so I could get like any little jitters out. So he was like, yeah. And he like stood on the pad with us for a couple hours this afternoon and like watched us do our alley docks and our parallel parks and stuff. And he gave us little pointers. But for the most part, we were doing good. He was, you know, cheering us on. He's a flatbedder. He's really cool, like really cool guy. So if you're a flatbedder, he's a trainer. Mike, he wears a hat, a cowboy hat. But yeah, so he said to just come and knock on his tractor and he would be more than happy to take me out on a drive in the morning. Like, I don't test till 9. I'm going to get to the terminal at 7. I'll be taking the shuttle over. So when I get there at 7, I'm going to be tap, tap, tap on Mike's door. I'm going to have him take me out. Well, you know, he'll sit in the passenger seat and he'll let me go out, shift, up shift, down shift, come to a few stop signs, turn, hit a few of those corners that don't have a stop sign where I need to downshift to 6, but I'll get that anxiety out of me. And then I'm going to try to spend maybe less than an hour doing that. And then I want to try to spend an hour on the pad and do work on the hard maneuvers, because I'm not sure if I'm going to get an alley dock or a parallel as my like third maneuver, because you know the last back end maneuver is like optional depending on what test they draw for you. I'm not sure what it's going to be. So I'm hoping for a parallel, because I mean, I'm cool with the alley docks, but there's like more maneuvers. The alley dock is the hardest back. There's more maneuvers. So like the less maneuvers you have to do to get it in the hole, the more chances you are of getting it right. So, you know, even though I've been getting the alley dock, no point to set myself up and be hoping for an alley dock, because that is the hardest one. So I'm hoping for a parallel. I'm pretty good at those. I've messed one up where I ran some cones over, but for the most part, every time I try to parallel either side, the you know, the blind side or the driver's side, I've been pretty good. So I'm hoping to get that, crossing my fingers. But either way, I want to practice the alley docks and my parallels. My straight back, I got that. My offset backing, I pretty much got that. As long as I look for that small triangle, where again, if any of you guys come out here, you'll learn your reference points. And for the driver's side, you always look for a little bit bigger triangle. Passenger side, a little bit smaller triangle. As long as I get my triangle right, it lines me up in the hole, and I just put my butt up against the hole, or the back of my trailer butt, whatever you want to call it, up against the hole, and then I turn it into, I pull forward all the way, and I turn that puppy into a straight back anyways. That works for me. So might work for you. You might be perfect and just can swing it right in there. If you can, perfect. That's great, because that's what it's supposed to be. But if you have to turn it into a straight back, as long as you're starting at that angle and it starts out as an offset, then, you know, do with it what you need to do. And for me, turning it into a straight back works. So that's what I'm going to go with. But I think I got my offset, like I was just saying, and my straight line back okay. So I shouldn't really lose too many points. But the parallel and alley dock, I mean, I have them, but I definitely want to get out there tomorrow and try to practice a few more times. Now, just in case anybody's like getting close to the testing time or whatever, your straight line back, you have one free pull up and one free get out and look. And no, when you run out of free get out and looks on any of these maneuvers, you cannot get out a third time or second time. So anyways, let me start over. The straight line back, you have one get out and look, one free pull up. You can take free pull-ups all day long. They cost you a point, and that goes for any of the maneuvers. For the offset backing, the alley dock, and the parallel, so all three of the rest of the maneuvers, you have 2 get out and looks, 2 free pull-ups. If you take any more free pull-ups, they cost you a point, but if you need to take them, take them. Versus running into the line, like if you know you're about to go back, you know, your trailer is going to go back through the hole or back through the line or whatever you want to call it. Because they're really just, when I say the hole, I'm talking about lines on the ground that you're pretending it's a dock, or there's trucks on the side of you. You want to get them in the middle. But if you know that you're going to go out the back of the box, yeah, let's call it a box. If you're going to go back out the back of the box, don't cross the line, because when you cross the line, they're going to force you to pull up anyways. And crossing the line just costs you a point, and you're still going to have to pull up, and that's still a point if it's, you know, if you've run out of your free pull-ups. So if you know you're going to cross the line, save yourself the point of crossing the line and just go ahead and pull up. And when you pull up, people, if you need to, sometimes you can pull up just a little bit because you're only a little bit crooked, but for the most part, if you're going to pull up as far ahead as you need to, as long as you don't pass those cones that'll be way in front of you. Pull up as far as you need to and take all of that space. Like, utilize the space that you have. But, so yeah, but you're wasting points. So like, there you go. That's how it works. I guess, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Maybe I am tired. I don't know. But anyways, guys, I'm going to let you go. It's been a long day. Wish me luck either way. And I really hope that I don't have to come on here and like give you guys bad news, because that'll be a bummer. But either way it goes, I'll let you know. Like, tests, if I make it through all parts and actually get to the road test and don't screw up on the backing, a full test is about 2 hours. I'll start at 9 o'clock. So hopefully maybe by noon, you know, I mean, I'll be finished by 11, but I'll probably be like doing cartwheels across the parking lot or something. And like, you know, yeah. But, so maybe by noon, I'll try to make a video and let everybody know how I did. If I passed, failed, but either way, I will let you know, and I'll be honest. If I failed, I'll be honest about what I failed at, and I will try my best to give you some type of tip of how not to follow in my footstep and fail that same way. I mean, like I said, I'm hoping that I'm not failing, so I'm not going to have any tip for you. But if I do, you know, I will be asking like, well, how could I have done that different so next time this doesn't happen? And I'm going to share that tip with you to make sure that I would rather you guys succeed on your first time than make the same mistake I made. So I hope everybody had a great weekend. I know there's only a few more hours left of Sunday, but enjoy the rest of your weekend. And I will talk to you guys later, guys. I will talk to you later. Bye. Hey guys, it's me again. Really quick, I realized as I was uploading that video that I forgot, like I started telling you about the points in the different sections of the test. So I let you know during your pre-trip you can lose 12 points, and I believe like every time you miss a certain thing, like if you skip over the shock absorbers or skip over the airbag or the coupling skid plate, you lose a point for everything you miss. So you can lose 12 points on pre-trip. You can lose 12 points on backing, and that's a combination of all three maneuvers, not 12 points on each maneuver, but 12 points total. So if you are kind of sketchy on, like, usually most people are going to be sketchy on the final maneuver, which is either parallel or alley dot. If you're sketchy, make sure you get the offset and the straight line back perfect. So like you have those 12 points to play with in that final maneuver, whichever one you happen to get. And then driving, the street driving or drive portion of the test, you have 30 points. If you miss 31 points, that's a fail. There's also something called hazardous violation, like where if you're doing something, I think like running a red light, continuously stalling, or like if you roll back too much and you're gonna hit somebody behind you, like things like that might be a hazardous violation. But it's basically like if your driving is hazardous to the people around you, the pedestrians and other drivers around you, if you pose a threat to them, like you're not a safe driver, not even safe enough to finish your test. But yeah, so and like things like forgetting to turn your turn signal off, pulling up too far at a stop sign, like different things, like I think those are like 1 point. There's some things that are 2 points, I believe. You know, when you get here or wherever you're going, ask like what are each point so you kind of know, but really just focus on your driving, and you know, don't like be trying to add up points and focus on driving. Just focus on driving and just get your practice in. And just another suggestion for ladies mostly, but guys, be aware of this. If you're not used to a clutch or you've never driven a truck before, those clutches, like when you first start, don't think it's just you, but like it'll be hurting your knee. After being in a truck for a few hours, my face is starting to get really tight. After being in the truck for a few hours, practicing, like, you know, you're on and off the clutch so much, your knee will start hurting and your thigh will probably get sore. So that's normal. It happened to all of us out there. We're all, you know, but after a few days of doing it, your body starts to get used to it. Like today, I've been backing all day, so my knee is a little sore, but it's normal. So don't think it's just you or something like that. And yeah, I have this mask on. The other day, I took a bubble bath and I bought like this eucalyptus bath salt or whatever. Because again, that's what made me think of it. My thigh was so sore. And at the same time, when I was at Target, like I have generally good skin. So I don't, you know, like when you see me in my videos, I never put on makeup or anything. Like it's my skin you're seeing. Sometimes I have a blemish, sometimes I don't. But I bought this black mask thing at Target for like $250 or $350 or something like that. That's what I have on. It's detoxifying intense black peel off mask. It feels really good. It's like cool. I can kind of feel it doing something to my pores. I think it's supposed to like clean your pores or something, but it's starting to get stiff. So I guess it's almost time to come off. But ladies and guys, I mean, most guys probably wouldn't put a mask on, but like do little things for yourself when you're back at the hotel, just to kind of make you feel good and make you feel normal. Like things you would do at home. Like don't overstudy or overstress when you get back to the hotel. At some point, you like need to let go of trucking and, you know, just be a normal person. Watch different TV shows that you like. Go have some dinner in the restaurant or like a burger if you like burgers, or, you know, like treat yourself. You know, and on the weekends, it's usually half days. Like this stuff is getting really tight. It's half days. Like if you like going to different places, like go out into the city, go to a mall, venture out, get trucking off your mind. Cause there's too much of constant from wake up to go to bed. It's just a lot, you know? So that's a tip. Like sometimes just clearing your mind and freeing your mind helps you be more productive and successful at what you're practicing the next day. But again, I'm going to say goodbye, but I think I touched on everything. I think the only thing I forgot to mention was the point thing. So everybody enjoy your night. Wish me luck, and I will talk to you tomorrow.